In the path of Kamakhya, the truth is fierce, the Leela is deep, and the play of gods is not what modern minds imagine. This is not the tale of gods falling in love, but of cosmic forces being aligned through karma, tapas, and divine manipulation. In this episode of Kamakhya Tattva Bodha, we uncover how Brahma, out of ahamkara and necessity, orchestrated the union of Mahadeva and Sati, and how even the eternal ascetic Shiva was drawn into the world for the sake of Dharma. After hearing these favorable words from Shambhu, Brahmadeva feels delighted. His mission of making Shambhu fall in love has finally succeeded. There are two reasons why Brahmadeva wants Shambhu to fall in love. Only if he enters the state of love will he marry a woman. If he marries, he will beget children, and thereby engage in the processes of creation, preservation, and destruction. Some beings are destined to be destroyed by Rudra and his sons. But if Shambhu doesn't get married, how will such children be born to carry out these divine destructions? And if he remains perpetually immersed in meditation, how will he be available to slay the Rakshasas as fate has written? Long ago, Shambhu laughed at Brahmadeva when Manmathan was created. Brahma had given Manmatha a boon that he could affect even the Trimurtis. With a bright and sharp intelligence, Manmatha decides to test this boon on Brahma himself. Under Manmatha's influence, Brahma forgets that Sandhya is his own daughter and begins to look at her in a way no father should. Even the Saptarishis, influenced by the same energy, begin to look upon Sandhya with eyes that are not pure. All this is witnessed by Shambhu during a walk with Nandi Bhagavan. Seeing this, Shambhu turns to Brahma and asks publicly, "Are you not feeling ashamed? This is what happens when you create the wrong kind of being." Brahma is deeply embarrassed, especially since Shambhu spoke this in front of Manmatha, Sandhya, and the Saptarishis. In that moment, Brahma mentally curses Shambhu that one day even he will long for a woman like this. This is the reason Brahmadeva is seen as the embodiment of ahamkara swarupa. And it is also the reason why, in Kali Yuga, as we humans are already highly divine in nature but prone to fall into lower tendencies, the worship of Brahmadeva is prohibited. It is to prevent us from stepping deeper into the downward spiral toward hell. In the same manner, there is one more divine form that is strongly restricted from human worship. We only touch Brahmadeva and that other divine personality during specific moments of sadhana. We do not worship them exclusively. These, therefore, are the two reasons Brahmadeva wanted Shambhu to fall in love. Now, coming back to the story, Brahmadeva diplomatically speaks to Shiva. He acknowledges that Shiva hasn't decided to marry for himself, but only for the welfare of the world. This is the ahamkaram that buries truth, a clever way to manage the situation in his favor. Further, Brahmadeva tells Shiva that Daksha himself will offer his daughter in marriage to him, as Brahma will personally speak to Daksha immediately. Meanwhile, Sati has already told her father Daksha that she loves Shiva and wishes to marry him. Daksha too has given her a boon that he will marry her to the one she desires. Though Daksha feels happy hearing this, he is also confused. If Shiva truly loves her, why did he leave her here and go back to Kailasha instead of marrying her and taking her along? This thought troubles him, and Daksha feels that perhaps he must worship Shiva just as Sati has, to ensure she is not disappointed in this matter. As Daksha is wondering how best to approach Shambhu without invoking his anger, Brahma and Saraswatyamba arrive in their swan chariot at the palace of Daksha. Daksha is pleased to see his father, Brahmadeva. Brahma narrates to Daksha the story of how Sati pleased Shiva through her staunch vratas, how Shiva eventually succumbed to the influence of Madana at the right time, and how deeply he is now longing for Sati. Brahma shares how Shiva has forgotten his self-meditation, how he now talks about divine topics with his ganas, and how, like a common man in love, his thoughts keep returning to Sati. Even as he speaks on spiritual matters, he finds himself unconsciously asking aloud, "Where is Sati?" forgetting he's speaking in front of his own Bhutaganas. Hearing all this, Daksha is overjoyed. Their mission has succeeded. Shiva is ready to marry. Daksha immediately agrees to the proposal and with all his joy tells Brahma that his daughter will indeed marry Shiva. Brahma then leaves Daksha's palace and returns to Kailasha Parvata to share this happy news with Mahadeva. Hearing it, Mahadeva finally feels a deep peace within himself after a long time. He tells Brahmadeva that he will personally join Brahma and Narada to travel to Daksha's residence. He also asks Brahmadeva to bring along all his 9 mind-born sons, Marichi, Atri, Angiras, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, Brigu, Vashishta and Narada to Daksha's place. Since Daksha is also one of Brahma's 10 mind-born sons, Mahadeva says he will bring all the Bhutaganas with him as well. Even before their conversation ends, all the mind-born sons and Bhutaganas appear before Shiva, as if blown in by a powerful gust of wind. With sounds of conches, war drums, flutes, and other divine instruments, they all begin their glorious march toward Daksha's palace to formally ask for the hand of Sati, the beloved of Mahadeva. And thus, what appeared to be love, longing, and divine marriage was in truth a movement of Shakti, a rearrangement of fate, and a rebalancing of cosmic roles. Brahma, caught in the trap of his own creation and ahamkara, pushed Mahadeva towards Sati not out of affection, but out of necessity. In doing so, he fulfilled a curse, restored dharma, and ensured the descent of future avatars. This is Kamakhya Tattva, where even the Trimurtis play their part under the veil of Maya, while the Devi alone watches from behind the veil, untouched, unborn, unbound. Before the mysterious descent of the Yoni upon Nilachala Parvata and the fierce emergence of the Kamakhya Kshetra, there was a moment of tender divinity, the sacred union of Shiva and Sati. But even this auspicious event unfolded with profound tests of desire, duty, and truth. In this episode of Kamakhya Tattva Bodha, we witness how even the divine can be swept by the currents of karma and yet uphold dharma with uncompromising clarity. Let us now return to that sacred moment when Mahadeva, radiant in his fierce grace, arrives at Daksha's court to claim his beloved. Bhujago Vyagrakri Tischa Jata Chandrakala Tatha Jagam Bhushanatvancha Tenati Ridittita. Meaning, the serpent wrapped around his neck, the tiger skin draped across his waist, the matted locks of hair crowned with the crescent moon. All these, which others would consider terrifying or wild, became ornaments upon him. And adorned with these fierce and sacred symbols, he shone radiantly, like blazing fire in full glory. With this unparalleled and awe-inspiring Swarupa, a form that commands reverence from Devas and Daityas alike, Mahadeva, seated atop his divine vehicle, Nandi, began his majestic march toward the residence of Daksha Prajapati. Alongside him were Brahma, the creator himself, the divine sage Narada, the Marichadi Maharishis, and his fearsome yet devoted Bhutaganas, creating a divine procession never before seen. Daksha, observing the arrival of Mahadeva, accompanied by such an assembly of celestial beings, was filled with reverence and awe. Rising from his place, he hurried to greet them all, especially Mahadeva, offering them seats with due honor and hospitality befitting their stature. With humility and a sense of sacred duty, Daksha served every Devata and Maharishi to the very best of his capacity, ensuring each guest was treated with utmost devotion and care. At an auspicious hour, carefully selected based on Vedic timings and yogic alignment. Daksha performed the Kanyadana, giving his daughter Sati in marriage to Mahadeva. The wedding of Shiva and Shakti was no ordinary ceremony. As Brahma and the other Devas took their place, the sacred sounds of Rig, Yajur and Samavedas were chanted, infusing the entire space with divine vibration. The air vibrated with mantras and the skies echoed with sacred ahamkara. The Ganas of Mahadeva played celestial musical instruments, their melodies resonating through the heavens. It was a moment where divine love, dharma, and cosmic purpose came together. Mahavishnu, witnessing this sacred union, was overwhelmed with joy. His heart, filled with bliss, overflowed with affection for Shambhu. Approaching Mahadeva, he declared with clarity and conviction, Ya evainam sabhilasho drishtva shrutva athava bhavet tam hanishyasi bhutesha natra karya vicharana. Meaning, O Bhutesha, Lord of Spirits, whoever looks upon Sati with desire, even if it is merely through a gaze or by hearing about her, such a person must be slain without hesitation. There must be no deliberation, no second thoughts in this matter. To this command, Mahadeva responded with unwavering firmness. Yes, it will be so done. It was soon after this declaration that a disturbing event occurred, one that tested even the highest among the gods. Brahma, unable to restrain his senses, looked at Sati with an impure intention, captivated by the unmatched grace and divine beauty of her smile. His body revealed unmistakable signs of arousal, a disgraceful display even among the gods. Overcome by desire, his semen was released involuntarily, descending to earth like a streak of fire. From that sacred yet tainted moment, 4 types of clouds were born, and the heavens opened with heavy rainfall. A strange climate spread, one stirred by karmic consequence and divine displeasure. Even Shambhu, standing beside Sati, was momentarily influenced by the beauty of his bride amidst this atmosphere charged with Kama. But he is Shiva, Mahadeva, whose essence is pure consciousness. Kama can never fully take hold of him. Awakening instantly from this fleeting disturbance, Swami, filled with divine fury, seized his trident, his Trishula, and prepared to strike down Brahma, as per the instruction of Mahavishnu. Daksha, witnessing this moment of divine rage, fell at Mahadeva's feet, pleading desperately with folded hands, begging him not to kill Brahma. But Shiva's resolve was unshaken. His word was already given. His vow to Vishnu could not be broken. Sensing the peril, Mahavishnu himself arrived swiftly, interceding between Shambhu and Brahma. He implored Shiva to stay his hand, explaining the grave consequence that would unfold if Brahma, the deity responsible for creation, were destroyed. But Shambhu replied with transcendental fearlessness, If Brahma is slain, I shall create another. Let none think I cannot oversee the process of creation too. Mahavishnu, now standing before Shiva in his full cosmic glory, revealed to him his Nijarupa Darshana, the supreme form. In this vision, Vishnu revealed himself as Pradhana, the ultimate Brahman, and also as Apradhana, the manifest lower forms that operate within creation. He declared, It is I who reside in Shiva, in Brahma, and in all. They are but facets of my being, embodiments of the one unmanifested, limitless and attributeless light, that supreme tattva beyond thought and form. Shiva, listening to these words and beholding this dazzling vision of truth, was stunned. Though he knew within that he and Brahma and Vishnu are one, in the heat of his vow and anger, he had momentarily forgotten. Now reminded by Vishnu himself, Mahadeva lowered his trident, sparing Brahma from death. The storm began to quiet. The sacred fury was pacified. Swami, now serene, offered his farewells to all present and began his journey back to Kailasha, holding his beloved Sati close as heavy rain continued to fall, the divine consequence of Brahma's transgression still lingering. All the Devas, including Brahma, now deeply humbled, followed Shiva and Sati for some distance, honoring their union with reverence before returning to their celestial realms. And for some time, Shiva and Sati lived in Kailasha, immersed in blissful union, not merely as husband and wife, but as divine counterparts born of cosmic love, grace, and purpose. Their life together was a living embodiment of the eternal bond between spirit and Shakti, between consciousness and creation. The divine play that unfolded during the wedding of Shiva and Sati teaches not just about cosmic love, but about the sacred balance of Kama, Dharma, and Jnana. Even the gods are not exempt from the trials of desire, but how they respond defines the sanctity of their being. Mahadeva's unflinching adherence to his vow, Vishnu's supreme wisdom, and the shattering realization of divine oneness all culminate in this unforgettable episode. Let modern seekers take heed. Spirituality is not mere indulgence masked as freedom. It is tapas, fiery truth, lived awareness, and humility before the divine. As we leave behind the celebration of this celestial wedding and enter the next phase of Kamakhya Tattva Bodha, remember, when desire becomes selfless and rooted in truth, it transforms into a power that sanctifies, not destroys. On one such day, heavy clouds gathered over the sky. Sati looked at Shambhu with childlike curiosity and asked for a perfect shelter, a place where they could escape the great rain that was about to fall. Shiva smiled, reminding her that Kailash was beyond the reach of such storms. Yet, he added, if she desired, they could move to Meru or the Himalayas, where she would be surrounded by flowers, animals, and the divine attendance of the Devas. Sati, with quiet longing, expressed her wish to dwell in the Himalayas, and so Shambhu carried her there. For 10,000 years, Mahadeva and Sati remained in divine union amidst the Himalayan peaks. Meanwhile, Daksha was arranging a great Mahayagna for the welfare of all beings. Vishnu, along with the Marudgana, presided. Brahma took the role of Brahma himself, directing the chanting of the Vedas. The Ashtadikpalakas guarded the Yagna, and Agni Bhagwan manifested in 1,000 forms to consume the offerings. All were invited, Devas, Rishis, and even beings from the netherworld. But Daksha, clouded by delusion, denied entry to Shiva and Sati. Sati soon learned of her father's insult, a Mahayagna where all were welcomed, but not her lord. Her eyes blazed red with fury. She prepared to curse Daksha, but then remembered her own vow. The moment Daksha disregarded her, she would abandon her body. In that instant, she summoned her true form, Vishnu Maya. Speaking with divine clarity, she declared, "This body shall serve no further purpose. I shall descend again, be born anew, and return to Shambhu as Parvati to fulfill the destiny that Daksha's penance began." Seated in yogic posture, Sati sealed her 9 gates of the body. With a thunderous humkara, she split open the 10th, releasing her Atman in a blaze of light. Her lifeless body fell, but her spirit ascended. Returning to the realm of Mahamaya, the Devas in Swarga wept in sorrow. Even the heavens thundered at the sight. At that very moment, Shambhu, returning from his morning sandhya at Manasa lake, heard the cries of Devas. Mounting Nandi, he rushed to his hermitage. There, he saw Dakshayani's lifeless body. He sat beside her, holding her face in his hands, asking again and again, why had she gone to sleep? The young Vijaya, niece of Sati, explained the truth. Sati had abandoned her mortal body fulfilling her vow. This was no ordinary death. Mahamaya had chosen the moment, the vow, and the silence. Through Daksha's arrogance, through Sati's sacrifice, through Shambhu's grief, she orchestrated the next chapter of the cosmic play. Kamakhya was not absent. She was the director of the drama.